5th anniversary event this weekend, and we're glad to have you here. And I'll just turn it over to Coach Pearl.
Ben, to sit down or stand up? Do you guys care? Am I okay to stand up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
you mind? All right, good. You okay with that? All right, great.
Coach, what attracted you to this organization, Jimmy Rane Cheer?
You know, who's going to teach our kids? Who is teaching our kids? What are they teaching them? And I was so lucky to grow up in a nice town. I can tell you every one of my teachers' names. You know, I got 4 kids. I get real busy. I can tell you right now, I've never missed a parent-teacher conference ever, because I want to go in there and hug on those teachers and say, "Thank you for putting up with my kid." And if he, you go ahead and do the discipline, whatever you need to do. Just I want to say thank you, because it was so incredibly important. I'm in education. I'm not a teacher. I'm not faculty. I'm staff. But as a coach, I'm a teacher. So I understand the difference that we can make, the impact that we can have, and education is our foundation. It's just such a huge foundation. So to look at what Mr. Rane and this foundation has done over the last 25 years is nothing short of amazing. And every time I come here, I learn something else that I didn't quite know. You know, there are young people from 26 states in this country who are getting 4-year scholarships to the universities of their choice. This year alone, there's going to be 70. How do you do that? You do that because you have an incredible business that connects you with so many people on so many different levels. And when Mr. Rane calls and asks, you answer, because he is so incredibly generous himself. He is one of the most generous people at Auburn. I probably would not be standing here as the basketball coach at Auburn unless Jimmy Rane and a few others said, this is our coach, and we had to get through a few things, and I'm forever grateful.
How has your relationship grown with him over the course of 10, 11 years?
It is a relationship in the sense that I probably hear from him or he hears from me once a month. And he's unbelievable about texting and calling and just supporting. Just what can I do? I know how busy he is. He can't get to most games, but he gets to all the games he can get to. One of the things I love about Mr. Rane is his influence on the university has actually allowed me to teach and preach, in the sense that not at every public institution could you visibly pray like we do. And he loves our country. And so whether it's singing God Bless America or standing the right way for the national anthem and being out there for every national anthem, it's leadership at the Board of Trustee level from a trustee like Mr. Rane, who cares about that stuff. That stuff matters to him. And it gives me an opportunity again to teach my guys how important it is and how they handle that stuff and how important it is to them. So he's provided great leadership in that regard.
Coach, you're around, young men, turning them from men to adults, young men to adults,
Yep.
Every year. What's your advice to these kids that are getting these scholarships?
To whom much is given, much is expected. Understand the blessing that's been put on them. And I want them to have an understanding of why they were chosen. And then have a level of responsibility to make the most of it. to take advantage of the blessing. And so that would probably be what my message would be to them.
Coach, on the basketball front, how have you enjoyed the offseason, coming off a deep playoff run in the tournament?
Well, if you know me, and you do a little bit, there hasn't been an off season yet. They're and I'm not complaining at all. I feel good. I actually don't feel too terribly tired. I know we had a long season. Thank God we had a long season, and played all the way into April. And I have never had to replace almost my entire roster before. But we knew that this year we knew last year had a chance to be a special year because I had a good team, I had a veteran team, and we decided let's go ahead and put a lot of eggs in that basket last year and let's see if we can make a run. And we did, a historic run, one of the best in the history of college basketball. But as a result now, we've had to replace a lot of folks. And I think we've done pretty well so far. We will absolutely be the hardest team going into next year to predict what kind of a year we're going to have. And it will have to be a team that's going to have to get better throughout the season because it's going to be so brand spanking new.
Losing a guy like Chad Baker-Mazara, what are your initial thoughts on that?
Well, I just wish him well. And he was with us for 2 years, and we won an SEC tournament championship and an SEC regular championship and a Final Four.
Coach, talk about Coach Pruitt moving on after a long career in basketball and being part of your staff for so long.
Yeah. Everybody knew when I hired Chad Pruitt that I was hiring a great man because he had coached in high school, men and women, both in Lower Alabama and then in Auburn. But what they didn't know was what a great basketball mind he also had. And when you're trying to establish a culture of family and faith, you have to do that based on all the people that you hire and people that you surround yourself with. And so it wasn't a surprise to me at all. In fact, Chad and I have been talking about this for years. At some point, I knew he would take that leap of faith. And we've been talking all year about calling God, right? And so I don't think there's any question that God was calling Chad Pruitt and said, it's time. It's time now for you to take everything you've done in the world of basketball and give it to me full time. And so that whole program with Unite has been a great program, and he and his wife have taken that all throughout the country.
Coach, any news on your schedule? Any non-conference schedule? Any news about that?
Well, nothing really new. We're going to play as ambitious a non-conference schedule. I'm not even sure what's out and what's been released or whatever, but it'll be as good a non-conference schedule as we played a year ago. We had the toughest schedule in all college basketball, and it helped get us ready for the SEC.
Bruce, what's the process right now with Tahad? I know you guys are paying attention to what he's doing in the comments. What are your thoughts on? Yeah, he had a really good day yesterday.
Yeah, man, Tahad had a great day yesterday. He was the best player on the floor. And I think nothing's really changed. If Tahad has an opportunity to get a first-round guaranteed contract, then I think he's going to go, and he should go if he gets a first-round guarantee. If he doesn't, because of NIL and the opportunity to come back to Auburn, he would be happy. He wants to come back if it's not that, but he's ready, and he's been overlooked his whole life because he's 6 foot tall, and there aren't but about 4 or 5 teams in the NBA that would even consider taking a point guard under 6'5". So the number of teams that he would go to is just limited, and so anyways, we'll get really good information from the NBA, and if he decides to come back to Auburn, we'll be a lot better team. He will take advantage of the year and get bigger and stronger. And look, when you sign your first contract, you got a chance to get rich. When you sign your second, your third contract, that's when you have a chance to get wealthy. And so it's about getting that second or third contract. And so he won't leave unless he's in a really good spot. And we'll probably know, I would say, in the next couple weeks.
If
Let me
Tahad is
interrupt you
Yes,
just
sir.
a minute
Yes, sir.
and introduce Jimmy Rane.